So how you been?
I just got back from Turkey.
Woohoo!
I went for a week and then I went home to England for a week too.
How was it being home?
It was nice. I haven't been home in like 2.5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was. I needed that healing.
2.5 years is a really long time.
Yeah, last year I met my mum and brother in Dubai in September.
Oh,
So-
what's Dubai like? I've never been there.
Hot.
Is it?
You felt like I think it was like 38 to 40 degrees.
Welcome to my little house.
Do you want to have a chat with me?
Yeah, I don't mind. Should we sit over here?
Yeah,
Quite
let's
comfy.
let's sit down.
안녕하세요 여러분. 저는 캐나다 온 에밀리입니다.
안녕하세요. 저는 영국에서 온 리안나라고 합니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 한국말로 얘기할까요? 이나 영어로? 어떤 거 더 편해요?
영어 훨씬 더 편해요.
오케이, 영어로 더 딥한 이야기 할 수 있겠죠? So how long have you been in Korea now?
I guess we're approaching 5 years.
Yeah.
This October will be 5 years.
Ooh. When we did our first interview together on this channel, here's the video right here. How long ago was that now? That must have been like
A year,
a year
or so.
ago, yeah.
It was around winter time.
Yeah, I think it was like at least a year ago.
Yeah. I remember being freezing and I had like a turtleneck, so it was just crazy.
On that day, we talked a lot about like the cool like adventures and stuff that you've been able to try here.
Yes. I'm glad we spoke about it then because I feel like I've done less now.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think it's because you're working more?
Working, and also I think I've traveled a lot in the last year, to be honest with you, which I'm really grateful for.
Before we were talking about how you went with your mom to Turkey and then you went back to the UK. You went to Japan too.
Yeah, twice.
Oh.
I went to, so from last summer I went to Malaysia for a month, and then after that it was Singapore for a while, and then came back to Korea for a bit, and then went to Dubai.
Oh, she's a world traveler.
I call it my expensive hobby.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna spend money on something, it's best to spend it on experience.
This is it. I've just taken my experiences global now. So yeah, it gives me a lot of happiness to go and see other cultures. I guess that's why I'm here also.
Okay, so here's a question. In Korea or abroad, what do you do for healing?
The trip is the healing. I think for me that's how I perceive it. Literally, as soon as I get that plane ticket, I get like a mini high. I genuinely think the person I was before ever setting foot in any other country is so far removed from who I am now that it's insane when I look back at some of the ideals maybe I held. Like, it definitely does help you develop as a person.
100%. Even like I feel I haven't traveled, but coming here and immersing here, I 100% agree. I feel like there's so many things I just didn't know. You know this thing, like I don't know if Europe is like this. Probably not, because Europeans are used to learning about other cultures much more because of how close you are to other cultures, and it's much easier to just like hop around to different countries. But in Canada, it's like Canada and America and then Mexico. I've never been to Mexico. I always feel like North American people, a lot of people sometimes will be like, they don't understand about other cultures as much because we don't have much access to other cultures. So, you know, you hear really ignorant things like, what kind of Chinese are you? Hate that. Korea, Japan, China could not be more different. They're like, okay, fine, they're all Asian. That's where it ends.
Is that more like
I
on
think.
the outskirts of Canada, would you say?
Not in Canada as much. More in the States, you'll see that. In like the center where like not in the big
least
cities.
exposure. Yeah,
That's right.
Similar, you can apply it to the UK as well. Like if you go outside of London, to be honest, it's more countryside or something.
More rural area.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I don't even judge when other people have those things because I'm like, well, you are what you're exposed to, really.
This is true, I guess. But we also have a lot of media. I think this is why I'm a bit reluctant to accept ignorance these days, because we are watching, like, even if you're just like consuming movies, shows, you have got like more diverse cast members now.
Oh, for
so
sure.
it's not as if you've never seen that type of appearance ever.
So, Korea, you've been here for a pretty long time now. What's like the main thing that you feel changed?
Receptiveness to change. I'm definitely like more flexible in terms of adapting to new environments, which is really cool. If you looked at even just my outer appearance when I first came versus now, I think I look like 1,000 times more like put together. I met a friend back home while I was on vacation, and we went to college together, and I said to her, oh, you look amazing, you haven't changed, like, you look great, you look so young. You always look good, but you look like fantastic now.
Oh, I love that.
I think it's the influence of knowing how to style yourself and also wanting to present yourself in a good way.
Everywhere you look, people look amazing here. Like fashion, hair.
Say thank you. Just take the thanks.
Okay, thank
yes,
you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're right. That's one of the things I've been trying to. But it's true. Like there is so much more focus here on fashion and skincare and all that stuff. And for me, it's like, God, I've been waiting my whole life to be in an environment like this. Like I grew up in a really small town, and I always really wanted to like look and be different because I just had this thing deep inside of me that just wanted to like
Not
do
be
it.
conformist.
Yes, and do exactly what I'm doing now. So it's like living the dream. Everything's getting so good right now. And I feel definitely like the appearance part of it is a humongous piece of that pie. It's just fun. Well, because here's the thing, like Koreans really ride a trend. So like a trend comes out and everybody's trying it. But the thing that I appreciate the most about Korean style is that today you can dress like girly and feminine and soft, and then tomorrow you might be like punked out or like super hip hop, like kind of, I don't know, like it's just, there's so much freedom to just from one day to the next completely shift your style. And I love that because one thing that I always felt growing up was like, I felt like I had to keep this one identity. And if I strayed from it at all, then like I wasn't myself or something. And like I knew that I always wanted to be different, but I did feel like really boxed in. And now I feel so free to just be like, oh, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that. Like, you know, just being free to try stuff.
I feel like on my like styling journey, I've definitely, especially in Korea, I've definitely gone through different levels to it. I guess a few years ago, I like completely, I shaved like my hair off basically. So I had like shaved sides and just a bit on top. And I dyed my hair like all colors of the spectrum, to be honest, which was really fun. But also, I did have moments in Korea too, more nervous to have skin exposure or to wear form-fitted things.
Oh yeah, I've dealt with that too.
Yeah, especially like right now, I'd say we're in a much more flexible time than I first came here in 2016 on holiday, and it's so different compared to then. Like much more, I guess, open-minded if you want to say it like that.
Oh my God, 100%.
Yeah.
Like girls are walking around with midriff and like shoulders exposed and like tattoos. We should talk about tattoos. Do you have tattoos?
No.
No. When I first came here, I felt really like self-conscious. Yeah, and even still, sometimes still I'm like, oh, sorry. But like for me, they're all very much tied to like self-expression and love. All of my tattoos are love related. For me, like I'm so happy to see now like tattoos everywhere.
Which is interesting because you've seen like obviously the boom in tattoos and how open people are with them and happy to have them out. Like sleeves, legs.
Yeah, like and now you're seeing like dads with them and moms with them. I'm just like, yes, this is it, because now we can just be expressive more here than before. So I'm loving it.
Definitely opening up in small increments every year, I would say.
Yeah.
It's come a long way.
But one thing I will say is I do appreciate that Korean culture is still maintaining like very Koreanness about it, because like we're not fully losing like these really beautiful rich traditions and stuff that are there. So it's like I think it's like not like how fast the economy and everything bloomed here. It's going a little slower, but I think it's in a good way.
I still consider Korea a new country. Rise of technology and just how quickly the country developed was super fast, but obviously mentality takes a longer time to foster.
100%.
So that's where Korea is at right now. It's still
like I've been here for so long. I've been in the bubble for so long. I'm sure if I'd only been here for like half the time or like a couple years, then I would be frustrated by some of the things that are not yet caught up, we'll say. But I don't know, because I've been here for so long, it's like I have to catch up too. Okay, so what is your secret with your skin? Because holy crap, it is perfect. How, like actually like some of the most beautiful skin I've ever seen. It's perfect, it's flawless. And you have no wrinkles, girl. What are you doing?
I trying my best. Here's what I'm doing. I have like a 6 to 8 step routine right now. And I remember like prior to coming here, I definitely only use like body lotion on my face.
Body lotion on the face?
Yes, because I would just, no, I would literally just be like, oh, body, and just be like, oh, a little bit on the face, and that's it, without thinking like skincare, but just knowing I didn't want a super dry face. But now I'm using, I guess in the morning, I would have a toner, 2 serums, an oil, but only a few drops because you don't want to be like an oil bucket. And then a cream, and then sunscreen. So
always.
6 in the morning, is that? And then in the evening, it becomes 8. Because I add in my cleanser at the beginning and then an eye cream at the end.
living in Korea as an expat, there's many things that could tear you down, but honestly, this is one thing I want to say. A lot of times people that are like, oh, you go back to your own country then.
I actually hate that as a response. It does my head in.
Yeah.
I'm just like, can we please just think on a human, empathetic like level? If you've had like a racist incident or something like that, I don't expect to hear, well, get out of our country if you don't like it. No, the person who was racist was clearly in the wrong. Hold them accountable.
Yes.
It's nothing to do with putting down Korean people per se. I'm putting down the individual who spewed out that racist nonsense. That's it. And you can apply that to any country you're in. Because I would say that about someone in my own country.
100%.
And if I was in my home country and you were there as a guest, I would also stand up for you too, because you've had an injustice done against you. So I just hope that we can get rid of that mindset of, oh, well, you're not a victim, like you don't have to be here. That's the most like reductive thing you could say. It's so anti-helpful.
And here's the thing with that too, is my response is always, well, hold on a second. I never said the problem was Korea. My problem is nothing to do with Korea. Korea is amazing.
Literally.
I freaking love this place. It's literally nothing to do with the country. It's more about a couple of the people in the country that have given me a hard time. You know, but my point is this. I'm not blaming anyone for the things that I have in my life. What's in my life is all made and created by me. So I know that I have to get up, change my vibration, change my attitude, be the better and bigger person and level myself up. What I need in order to do that is to keep positivity around me as much as possible. That's why I made a choice, like from like this year on, I'm like, I want to be around people who work hard, who live hard, who have fun, who are joyful, who bring like happiness, because that's what my true self is. So I just want to like be completely real with myself and then be around the similar kind of people that are also like, let's be happy.
It's a very good way to be. You need to have positive influences, like for your surroundings too, the friends around you.
Oh,
because
that's huge.
You could just really get into a rut when you've got negative energy from other people. It drags you down, so you don't even realize it until you get out of it. And you're like, damn, I really was in a slump, and it's because I surrounded myself with such negative energy. It's awful.
So, if you could recommend, since you've been traveling so much lately, if you could recommend the top 2 places for Korean people to maybe go check out, where would it be?
For Korean people, I'd say Dubai. The heat is pretty intense in Dubai. However, you can do lots of like luxury shopping, but if you also want to balance it with cultural experiences, it's really good. I went to the desert and what is it called? I did sandboarding in the desert, which was really cool. So I had a short camel ride, and then you get to do dune bashing, which is where you're in like massive like jeeps, and they basically drive aggressively in the dunes, and you're like slapping around like inside the vehicle, it sounds crazy, but it was really fun. And then also like after that they make a pit stop and you can do your sand duning and have like a snack. So it basically is like a snowboard. It was like a snowboard. You just strap it to your feet and you go down the dune.
Oh, I definitely want to do that.
It was really, really fun. There's lots of souks where you can go and get spice, perfumes. You can ride a boat to the other side where you can go and see the gold souks as well and get lots of jewelry.
Is it expensive?
I feel like you can go with the amount that you have and you can make the best of it. Because that excursion that I did was 40,000 won.
That's so much cheaper than I thought it would be.
Yeah, because I would say I'm like a budget traveler in general. Get your guide, Klook. I recommend to get like nice excursions. In Korea too, you can use it. You can use it for any country you go to.
Okay, so Dubai.
Secondary, because I just went there, Turkey. Turkey's really pretty. I did a boat cruise. It was like 6 to 8 hours long, and you just set out and you go and stop off at several different islands, and you also get to like jump off the boat and have pit stops and just swim. You get to go and swim in caves as well and see some sights. It's really, really nice.
What's the food like? I'm very curious.
Delicious. That's what the food's like. Lots of kebabs.
Oh, I love kebabs.
Grilled meats. Like, it was really, really good. I had the best sea bass there. I went to a seafood restaurant. It was the best. So buttery, flaky. It was really good. Have
you been to Korean 생선구이?
No.
You have to go before
I leave.
Yeah, before you leave. Okay, so in Daegu, my 언니 has a really good guy restaurant. There's several different types of fish. Oh my god. They do them in different ways too. Some of them are really grilled and then some of them are like deep fried, and it's just That's when I discovered, what's the one? Kurbi? That's so good.
I'm so happy with the memory. But yeah, those are the 2 countries I recommend for now.
Okay. Well, I feel like every country probably has really interesting things to offer.
That's literally it. Like so many people are like, what's your favorite country? Or like, what's your favorite food? And I was like, I don't really do favorites. I would say I think there's always something positive that I've taken from each place I've gone to.
A lot of people, when they hear I'm from Canada, Korean people will be like, oh, but I heard 살기 좋은데요. Like it's so nice to live there. So like essentially like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, well, I always just say like there's like 장점 here and there, there's 단점 here and there. That now I kind of feel like if I were to move back to Canada,
You'd have a culture shock.
oh, big time. There's certain things in Korea that I'm not really that stoked about leaving behind. Daiso.
Daiso's very good. Most people come here to get all their like appliances and stuff there. Deck out your home with Daiso.
For sure. And then also what else? Just like 배달민족.
The convenience of delivery here is brilliant.
Coupon. Yeah, you just said what it is. It's the convenience of life here.
This will be hard to leave. Like, don't get me wrong, like I'm eager to go, but at the same time, there are things that I'm seriously gonna miss. Safety too. Safety of it's so nice.
That's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
There's a humongous epidemic going on with like drugs and stuff in Canada and America, and probably I don't know about in your country, but here, like, yeah, of course there's that problem is a little bit, but it is nothing compared to back home. Nothing. It's so safe. Like as a mother raising 3 little kids, like that for me, the safety here is my number one thing that I love. You can't put a price on that. You cannot put a price on safety.
It's just so rare. Like I think a lot of Korean people are like, oh, Korea is so dangerous, and I'm like, no, no. Also, Korean people say that Korea is so expensive, and I'm like, no, it's not.
No, but
It's getting more expensive, but it truly is not an expensive country. Like you could work in a convenience store, for example, and I know it's not necessarily the life you might want to have, but you can still have a pretty good quality of life on that income. Other countries that can't work, it doesn't work that way. I think Korea doesn't realize how much of a I don't know, economically strong country it is.
Right, and here's the thing too. Koreans, I've often heard people say like, Korea sucks or whatever, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. Korea's so good. You need to go outside of the country, see how it would be somewhere else, and then you'll know exactly how wonderful this place is.
Yeah, how fortunate you are.
And that's why I think like it's really nice when people can go outside of the country and see how great it is, because then they can kind of understand why we like it so much and why we want to stay. Like, not all of us want to stay. But, you know,
Well, I've stayed enough. Like
you've stayed here long.
Like 5 years, it was like I've had a really good time while I have been here, and I've been really blessed with the opportunities that I have had, and I'm really grateful for that. It's just time to branch out is all in my heart, you know. I just like the world.
So you have plans to probably leave Korea within the next like year or so.
Yeah.
So my question is like, what are some things that you are gonna have to adjust to not having? Like some Korean things you love that you'll miss.
Access to activities at a reasonable price.
Mm.
I'm gonna miss this. Like so much you can do here. Like I feel like again, Korean people don't realize how many activities there are and how accessible it is. Like to everyone of like any like wage bracket. I would say. Because in England, it costs a fortune to do half the things that I've done.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We spoke about like delivery service too. The speed is insane. Like I've ordered food on Coupang at like just before midnight, and it would be at my door already for 5 a.m.
Yeah, you mean like grocery stuff?
Yes. I could never fathom having that in the UK. There's no way. Yeah, the reliability of the transport is 50 times higher than England. Like I feel like trains are cancelled every single day.
The 지하철 in Canada, in Toronto, like I swear every single day that I was on it, it was like breaking down. You're like, oh my God, can I just get to work?
It's literally that. But here, you do know like you are gonna be getting somewhere in time, so you're not gonna really be able to use the excuse of, oh, my train broke down, that's why I'm late. You go.
The Naver app, like I know there's some people that like to use the Kakao one, and then some people like Naver. I still use Naver, but I love it because it even shows you like, oh, go to this platform, like so you can get out the door faster. You know, it's just like everything's,
the door.
Right?
I love that.
It's so freaking convenient. It's so well made and so easy. And in Canada, you would never have that.
I guess the biggest thing I will miss when I leave here will be the job. My job.
You have a cool job. Tell us about it quick.
I work as a model here. I still have a hard time saying this. I don't even believe it myself. Mainly work with beauty brands, skincare primarily, and then maybe makeup second. But I also have done like commercial work too. So again, feeling really blessed.
Yeah, every time I see your Instagram, I'm always like, get it, because you're so
She's very supportive.
Wow, but
I
it's
appreciate
true.
it.
I think like seeing people doing well, especially if there's someone I like,
Yeah, no, it's
it's such a fun thing, right? Because you're like, oh my gosh, she's doing it. And then you feel like, I can feel the energy that's going into what you're doing. It just, for me, is like...
anyone who like puts their all into their craft and is a friend of mine too. I'm like super supportive. I'm just like, look at them popping off. It's okay.
Yes!
I was like, yes.
Thank you so much for coming all the way to my house today for filming.
No.
I'm really happy to see you. I haven't seen you in so long, in
It has been a
real.
long time.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching today, once again. And please make sure you like and subscribe and hit the alarm button so you can see more videos coming from us very soon from our 누나네 집에서
구독, 좋아요. Bye.